Hi everyone, the window we built in video 4 looks great, but the code behind it, not so much. In this video, we're going to refactor that Gio code. The goal isn't to change how the window looks or behaves, it is to make the code cleaner, more organized, and easier to read and maintain. Let's start by creating a new folder for this video and copy over the code from video 4. Once that's done, we'll open the file. Before diving in, let's compile the code and run the application. I'll start things off by changing the window title to Video 6, Refactor. The first step in making the code more readable is adding types for both layout.context and layout.dimension. I'll update them to C and D respectively. To speed things up, I'll use find and replace to update them throughout the entire file. Next, I'll set the window size to 700 by 600. Now I will modularize the highlighted section that builds the header toolbar. I will copy it into a new separate function. I will name it header bar. I will tidy up the indentation so everything is clear. Typically, layout.dimensions is returned, which is in this case will be D, since we have named it. GTX of type C is used in the rigid, so it will be one of the parameters. We can notice that uniform margins is not defined here. I will need to grab it from the main function. Same goes for the buttons. The theme th of type pointer to material.theme is the second parameter. I will grab the buttons from the main function now. I need to add their type widget.clickable. I grabbed one extra button here, so I will delete it. I will grab now the uniform margins definition. With that in place, the function is complete now, and I will update the highlighted code to call this new function instead. Next up, let's turn the flex that creates centered labels into a reusable function. I'll select the highlighted code, wrap it in a function, and name it centered labels. Just like before, we'll return layout.dimensions or simply D. After fixing the indentation, I'll add the parameters GTX and the theme TH. Finally, I'll update the highlighted code to call this new function instead. I will take the flex that generates the right bar and refactor it into a function. I will select the relevant code and move it into this new function, which I will name right bar. Like the other functions, this one will return D. Next, I will pull in the necessary buttons and remove any that aren't relevant to this new function. The same applies to the margins variable. I'll clean that up as well. Then I will update the main code to call this newly created function. I've added GTX as a parameter, but let's double check that it's correct. Before diving into the parameters, I will split the margins parameter into individual lines to make the code more readable and eliminate the need for excessive horizontal scrolling. Finally, I'll add both GTX and TH as parameters to ensure everything is in place. Let's fix this error in the centered labels function. I should put a comma here and not a dot. I will try now to run the application to see that everything is good. Okay, we're calling function rightBar with one less parameter. Let's fix that. Indeed, we need the theme as parameter. Run again. We're getting the same window we built in video 4 as expected, so we're good. Let's collapse the type and the functions to see better. Now let's focus on the main function, as it is now is quite too long and does pretty much everything. The aim is to make it small. I will start by building the window and then call another function and delegate the work to it. After creating the window, setting its title and sizing it, we call a new function that returns an error if it hits any issue. So if error receive loop w, here the new function name is loop. We give it the window pointer w as a parameter. For any issue returned by loop function, the main function will exit with 1. And that's it for the main function. So I will close the Go routine here, add the parenthesis and the app.main right after, and close the function here. The remaining code from the old main will be moved into a new function, loop, which will be the one called in main. I named this function loop because it contains the main event loop. Some prefer naming it run, as it runs both the window and event processing, while others go with draw, since it's responsible for rendering the window. I'm sure you got the idea. Before proceeding, let's fix the indentation within this function to improve readability. Lastly, I remove the parentheses and the app.main call, since we've already included them in the updated main function. Let's go ahead and run the application to check if everything is still working. As expected, everything is in place and functioning as it should. Next, I will focus on the last flex we haven't modularized yet. I will copy it into a new function, which I will name window layouts, since it's responsible for setting up all the layouts. The function requires the usual parameters GTX and the theme TH, and since there is no return in front of the flex copied into this function, the latter will not return anything. Once this function is done, I will go ahead and replace its code by a call to the function instead. So we've updated the main function to simply create the window and delegate the event loop to another function. The loop function now calls window layouts to handle drawing all the layouts. Inside window layouts, we call header bar for the header, centered labels for the labels, and right bar for the buttons on the right side. Each function now manages its own widgets internally rather than cluttering up the main. This approach makes the code much easier to improve, maintain, and debug. Let's run it now to make sure everything is working correctly. All looks good, and we're done.